SEED congratulates Dr. Assefa Jejaw Mekonnen for his commitment to bettering the health and lives of people in the community, his humanitarian efforts in the homeland, and as an exemplary role model.
The plaque reads, presented to Dr. Assefa Jejaw Mekonnen for commitment to bettering the health and the lives of people in the community, humanitarian efforts in the homeland, and as an exemplary role model, May 26, 2024. Congratulations.
እንደምን አመሻችሁ። እንግዲህ የጊዜ ባለቤት ፈጣሪ ለዚህ ስላበቃን አመሰግናለሁ። I was born to a privilege. The picture you saw is my mom getting her nursing from Emperor Haile Selassie. But she was carrying the future doctor in her womb, and that was me. My grandmother blessed me day in and day out, and she also lended me her heart. We just lost her recently. My father was an educator, an educational leader. For me, to give back is what's expected. School was easy for me, as any of my classmates would know. I don't know how to stood second, because my home was a library. Look at that. My mom is the first nurse practitioner in Ethiopia. She looked after 9 million, the Gondar entire population of maternal and child health services. My father led educational planning. So to go to school, for me, is what's expected. When I went to Assefa University, of course, scoring the highest grade possible, I was taught by leaders that you know. Professor Asrat was my mentor. Professor Demarem Tsaga was my teacher. Professor Nebiat Tafari was my teacher. What do you expect from their student? You know, if I retain 10% of what they taught me, I would be number one. When I was coming to the United States, I took the American exam while I was in Gondar. Could you believe that? Number one, number two, number three? Because I was taught by great leaders. More importantly, what I was taught was the culture of Ethiopianism. Respect for the elderly. Don't look Ethiopia now. I know we're in a crisis, but we'll go back to where we were. We'll rise again. My father instilled confidence in me, soft confidence. Also, he taught me how to dress well. My grandfather's story tells me that the color white was actually behind him, and he was in front of him. So that I have never been intimidated by what intimidates people in this world. In most of my trainings, I am the only one of person of color, be it Northwestern or Stanford. Of course, Harvard is a mixture at this point. But that is a result of the collective effect of you Ethiopians, your grandparents, your great-grandparents. Look at what I have acquired. So this is the driving force for me to give back. After graduation, the first time when I went as Assefa University junior lecturer to Gondar College, that was a time of war. The whole university had to leave through Wallo to Addis. I was not hired. I did not have a salary. I picked my white gown to start working. I could not leave a laboring mother behind and go. That was a difficult decision. I made a speech at the auditorium and saying, I am now the doctor, I'm walking to the world. 6 months of relentless work. We just lost one mom. But I I didn't do it by myself. I called students from Gondar region who were third and fourth year students who are now complete physicians. Dr. Sahale, a pulmonologist now. Dr. Assefa Mekonnen, an internist here. A urologist, Dr. Sisa, who then became the dean. They all were medical students. I had to assign everybody in all angles. We had to treat everyone. For us doctors, we don't care who triggered the bullet. Everyone is a casualty. There were Ethiopian military, there was the TPLF, there was the EPRP, there were few of the local militias, and there was a laboring mother. 6 months, an outbreak happened, an outbreak of children with relapsing fever. It's a disease that comes when you're infested. It was a wartime, they were neglected. There was no one to give them salt. If I were not there, we would have lost the 240 children. None died. I had to. Coming to States, of course, I came with an invitation of 25 universities. And we have to tell this to young folks. It is possible to do it. I had to write my letters. Of course, in medicine, it's not like anything else, as you know. It's much harder. But it just happened. My paper landed in one distinguished person who knew Ethiopians can do it, because he was a classmate of one distinguished Ethiopian at McGill years ago. Coming here, I've gone to colored academic professions, but that's not the best of what I did. I came to work at Suburban Hospital. I was walking out of ward. Someone approached me and saying, there is this person who cannot breathe, who's carrying oxygen. Can you see him? I said, of course. She said, he doesn't have insurance. I don't care. So he came to my office, and I saw him. He came with his daughter, who had a letter which says, I'm a high schooler. Can you keep him till I graduate high school? He was told to have asthma. It was not asthma. For me to look at the x-ray and to tell what it was just given because I was trained by another distinguished person. The person needed lung transplant. I picked my phone call to Innova Fairfax and spoke one of the persons, and I sent him the letter. The person got lung transplant 3 weeks after listing. That was record. He lived 10 years. He lived 10 years. At one anniversary, he danced with me Tigrenya. He was from Asmara, without oxygen. The impact of that told me that I'm much needed. I have to do a lot. Through my communication, through the American Embassy, to the Ethiopian Community Center in Washington, D.C., and the late Dawit Gezaw, I was able to bring in more than 80 critically sick Ethiopians to the United States. The stories are a 16-year-old who would have been blind from a brain tumor, whose brain surgery was done in Chicago. The surgeon did it for free. A 50-year-old man who had liver transplant done here in Washington, D.C. I didn't do all this by myself. There were so many American physicians who were behind me. Professor William Steinberg, who's not here, all this has been there for me to do. At Suburban Hospital, when I brought Ethiopians who had heart attacks, who needed vascularization, opening up their arteries, my good friend, Jack Flyer, helped me. Professional fees were all done for free. When I do all these things, it's taking time from family, for kids. My mother retired for us when we started family as a pediatric nurse. She came to be a pediatrician in the house. She raised 4 of our beautiful kids who are here. Lahen, Yanet, Heran, and Yonael. I'm married to a beautiful wife, but smart in her own right. She's a gastroenterologist. She's a clinical investigator. All of the philanthropies that we do are funded by 2 of us. She has never questioned it. The next question from her is, who else do you want to help? And she's here. My sister Bethlehem was washing my food. As an Ethiopian man, as you know, I did not know how to cook here. The first time I attempted, I burned myself. And I called mom to tell her, please still teach the other kids. But my sister came, she made my food, my coffee, she took care of me, Bethlehem, because my training involved, 72 hours of training, right? Sometimes when I come out of the ICU, I'm an intensive care physician. I'm a pulmonologist. It's the most intense job that you can do. But everything that in the house was taken care of by her. Place there. So currently, we are doing global clinical trials in our center. My wife is an investigator. We have an esteemed investigator here, a pediatrician, Dr. Assefa Jejaw. We work with a company called Velocity Clinical Trial. What we do is frontline medicine. We want the Ethiopian community to take advantage of this. You can look up Velocity Clinical Trial. The investigators are us, your products. If you have asthma, if you need vaccine, if you have liver disease, you will be under our care. So I want everyone to take advantage of this. Students who come to my office, even though through my professorship at Georgetown University, but I also welcome Ethiopian students, high schoolers, aspiring scientists, aspiring physicians. The students that we mentored have gone to Harvard, Hopkins, Stanford. So if there are young kids with aspiration to be the next generation of leaders, we are very happy to welcome you. I greatly, greatly appreciate Seed for thinking my deed is worth. And for those who nominated me, it would be a boost for me to do more. Thank you.